Swifts are among the world's fastest flying birds. Their narrow, swept-back, scimitar-shaped wings allow them to not only fly fast, but also to make dramatic dives, acrobatic moves and dart around here and there. There are about 80 different swift species. They are found mostly in the tropics but can be also found in cold areas such as Alaska and Siberia. Many make long migration flights, some over long stretches of open ocean. Most swifts are dark brown or black, have short legs and strong claws and stay aloft for months at a time. They pursue food, mostly insects, in the air, mate there and presumably sleep in the cave. Many swifts have wings that are so long they cannot perch on the ground and legs that are so short they have difficulty taking off like other birds. Instead they have drop off from a branch, perch or a cliffside. Some species collect branches for their nest by biting off branch tips in mid-flight. Swifts belong to the family Apodiformes, which means without feet. Swifts do indeed have feet, albeit small ones, but they hardly use them as they hunt, eat and even sleep on the fly. Swift behavior. Some species gather in colonies. For these there is a lot of social activity in the form of group flights and vocalizations that vary from long buzzy screams to short sharp chirps. Some species can fly at speeds of 170 km per hour, cover 900 km, collecting insects the whole way. Female swifts that mate in mid-air fold out their wings while the male lands on her back. The couple glide together and sometimes plummet hundreds of feet towards the earth intertwined. Many swifts collect the prey they capture into food ball called bolus, and bring them back to their nests. Most of the time these balls contain swarming insects such termites, mayflies, aphids as winged ants, wasps and or bees. Sometimes several hundred individuals from 60 different species can be found in a single bolus. Some species of swift are able to endure short periods of cool weather by entering a semi-tropic state with a lowered body temperature. Some swiftlets roost deep in caves in total darkness. These birds used echolocation like bats to navigate around. Non-echolocation swiftlets near the entrance of caves where there is enough light to see. Swift speed. Swifts sleeping or roosting in flight have been studied with radar. Observations show that they maintain an average speed of 20 miles per hour, periodically flapping to maintain their speed and height. Studies of swift wings in wind tunnels shows that a speed of 20 miles per hour gives the birds the maximum gliding time for the least amount of energy. Swiftlets have been clocked going speeds of 60 miles per hour. At high speeds they cock back their wings in a swept back position. Wind tunnel studies indicate this position is more energy efficient at speeds over 40 miles per hour as drag is reduced and enough lift is provided. When turning, spread wings are good at speed of 20 miles per hour or lower, but at speeds above 30 miles per hour stiffened wings held closer the body keep the wings from being damaged by high forces and turbulent air. These days, scientists are studying swiftlet for insights into aircraft wing development, in part because they don't flap their wings much when they glide or dive. Swift wings resemble long, thin, curved blades that taper off at the end sort of like a scythe. They gain added maneuverability by having an unusually larger proportion of their wings made up of the hand or wingtip bones. By changing the wrist angle between the hand and forelimb, the swiftlet can change both the shape of the wing and its area, thereby maximizing their efficiency at various speeds.
Bird's nest soup. Bird's nest soup is a soup made from the nest of a kind of cave-dwelling swiflet. It is regarded as a delicacy, health booster, life prolonger and aphrodisiac in Asia, particularly in China and Hong Kong, and is said rejuvenate skin, clear up complexions, clean out the digestive tract, and cure lung cancer. Source: Eric Valley, National Geographic, January 1990, Roy Andries de Groot, Smithsonian.
The translucent, gelatinous material used to make the bird nest gives the soup richness and texture and was compared by an 18th-century adventurer with the foam of wave crests. Chinese have made the nest material into a jelly mixed with spices or sweets as well as soup. The taste. One producer said, it was, sort of like a piece of paper. The nest material has little flavor and generally is cooked with something else to give it flavor. Bird's nest soup was invented around 1750 by a Siam-based Chinese man named Hao Yang, who discovered the wind-eating swiftlets and learned that their nests were soluble in water. In 1770, the king of Siam granted Hao Yang a monopoly on the bird nest trade. He promptly became rich. Later the Siamese took back control of the nests and a corps of hereditary collectors was established. A kilogram of top-quality birds' nests can go for $3,000 to $4,000, half the price of gold, and is the product of about 120 nests. A tureen of soup for 4 people of nest of sea swallows with venomous snake and chrysanthemum petals with lemongrass lotus seeds in soup, with several drops of venom squeezed from the glands of a snake that pulled out a bag. Can go for $100 or more in Hong Kong and is made from 6 nests. Bird's nest swiftlets. The nests used for the soup are made by 3 bird species. 1. The edible nest or white nest swiftlet. 2. Germain swiftlet. And 3. The black nest swiftlet. These birds live primarily in large limestone caves on islands or near the sea in Southeast Asia. Sometimes called sea swallows, the small swifts feed on flying insects and navigate through caves like bats using echolocation. Both males and females participate in nest building. The sticky gelatinous noodle-like fibers used to make the nests are secreted by well-developed salivary glands in their mouth. The glands enlarge during the breeding season. When the fibers harden, they produce a glue that holds the nest together and keeps it attached to the cave. The incubation period for the eggs is 19 to 23 days. Young remain in the nest for an additional 6 to 8 weeks. The best nests come from swiftlets that live deep inside caves. These birds echolocate with a series of high-pitched clicks and rattles that increase in frequency from 5 a second in open spaces to 20 a second near walls. Distance is determined by amount of time it takes the sounds to bounce off the wall and return to the ear. Direction is determined by the minute difference between the time sound reaches each ear. The system is effective but crude compared to echolocation system of bats. Swiftlet nests. The nests are about the size and hardness of teacups, are essentially made from hardened saliva mixed with feathers, grass and twigs, and look like congealed strands of vermicelli. The noodle-like fibers are used to bond nesting materials together and attach the nest to vertical walls of caves or cliffs or hollow tree nesting sites. There are 2 kinds of nests. White nests made up mostly of saliva and black nests with plant materials and feathers mixed in. White nests are the most valuable. They are generally made by swiftlets that nest deep inside the caves and are ideally collected before a female lays her eggs. Generally, the whiter and purer a nest is, the more tasty and valuable it is. Black nests are also collected. These nests cannot be eaten until they have been properly cleaned.
The edible nest swiftlet often build their nest in the most inaccessible of places, on the roofs and upper walls of high caves and even overhangs. Other species build nests in buildings and bridges and chimneys, but not the edible nest swiftlet. Sometimes the eggs and young of edible nest swiftlets are placed in the nest of another species, the uniform swiftlet, which lives in buildings. There are some claims that a third of nest form Indonesia are taken from swiftlets that have made their nests in buildings.
Making swiftlet nests. To make a nest, a swiftlet moves its head back and forth like a weaving bobbin. David Attenborough wrote, "The bird starts by flying persistently in front of its chosen site and repeatedly dabbing the rock with its tongue, laying down a curved line of saliva which marks the lower edge of the nest to be. The saliva dries and hardens quickly, and with repeated flights, the bird slowly builds up the low line into a low wall. As soon as this is big enough to cling to, the speed of construction accelerates, and within a few days the wall has become a semicircular cup of creamy white interlacing string that is just big enough to hold the customary clutch of 2 eggs."
The swiftlets are so small they don't have the strength to pick up nesting materials such as twigs and leaves from the ground like other birds. Instead, they pick up pieces of feather, fragments of dried grass and other small things they find floating in the air and affix them to a surface, their sticky spittle. Nests near the entrance to the caves have large amounts of feathers. Those that are deeper inside are made primarily of spittle, and are thus more desirable. The swifts can take up 2 months to build a nest. Ideally, the nest is collected after fledglings have taken wing rather than before eggs have hatched. That way there are more birds who create nests. After the nests are harvested, they are soaked in water to soften them up, and a magnifying glass is used to pick out loose impurities like twigs and feathers. After being steamed or boiled, the nests separate into long chewy strands. About half the material in protein. What health benefits might be found in the nests are believed to be lost during the cleaning process.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video.